Hello fellow introverts and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss the rapid development AI-powered robots that are looking to do the jobs that us humans do not want to do. You heard that right. China boldly claims it has a plan to mass-produce humanoid robots that can reshape the world within 2 years. China disclosed ambitious plans to mass-produce humanoid robots, which it says will be as disruptive as smartphones. In an ambitious blueprint document published last week, China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology said the robots would reshape the world. There are quotes there. The MIIT said that by 2025, the product will have reached an advanced level and be mass-produced. It made the statement in the development goals listed on the roadmap. They are expected to become disruptive products after computers, smartphones, and new energy vehicles, the translation of the document added. Bloomberg reported the document was short on details but big on ambition. But some Chinese companies are seemingly helping to tackle the country's robotic ambition in earnest. China's startup, Fourier Intelligence, for example, said it would start mass-producing its GR1 humanoid robot by the end of the year, South China Morning Post reported. The company, which has a base in Shanghai, told the publication it aspired to deliver thousands of robots in 2024 that could move at 5 kilometers an hour and carry 50 kilograms. It's not the only humanoid robot maker that's ramping up its efforts with the goal of mass production. The U.S. Agility Robotics is set to open a robot factory later this year in Oregon, where it plans to build hundreds of bipedal robots that can mimic human movement, such as walking, crouching, and carrying packages. Amazon is testing Agility Robotics' Digit robot, the research and development center near Seattle, to see how it can be used to automate its warehouses, but it's only in the pilot phase. Agility Robotics CEO Damian Shelton told Insider, "In the near term, we expect a slow and steady uptick in Digit deployment," he added. "We believe mass integration will eventually occur, but bipedal robots are still a relatively new advancement." Even Tesla is developing its own humanoid robot named Optimus, or TeslaBot, as Elon Musk disclosed in 2021. But it still has a long way to go before it's ready for mass production. Musk said at the Tesla AI Day event in 2022 that it was the first time the prototype had walked without any support when it walked onto stage. Now, I'm not the only one that's skeptical, of course, but for whatever reason, building a robot that's both human-like and useful is a decades-old engineering dream inspired by popular science fiction. While the latest artificial intelligence craze has sparked another wave of investments in the quest to build a humanoid, most of the current prototypes are clumsy and impractical, like humans, looking better in stage performances than in real life, like humans. That hasn't stopped a handful of startups from keeping at it. The intentions is not to start from the beginning, they say. "Hey, we're not trying to make a robot that look like a person," said Jonathan Hurst, co-founder and chief robot officer at Agility Robotics. "We're trying to make robots that can operate in human spaces." Do we even need humanoids? Hurst makes a point of describing Agility's warehouse robot, Digit, as a human-centric, not humanoid, a distinction meant to emphasize what it does over what it's trying to be. What it does, for now, is pick up tote bins and move them. Amazon announced in October it will be testing Digit for use in its warehouse, and Agility opened an Oregon factory in September to mass produce them. Digit has a head containing cameras, other sensors, and animated eyes, and a torso that essentially works as its engine. It has 2 arms, 2 legs. The legs are more bird-like than human, with an introverted knees appearance that resembled so-called digitigrade animals such as birds, cats, and dogs walk on their toes rather than on their flat feet. Rival robot makers like Figure AI are taking a more pursuit approach on the idea that only true humanoids can effectively navigate workplaces, home, and a society built for humans. Figure also plans to start with this relatively simple use case, such as in a retail warehouse, but aims for a commercial robot that can be iterated on like an iPhone, to perform multiple tasks to take up the work of humans as birth rates decline around the world. That's a different topic, we'll get into that shit later. There's not enough people doing these jobs. so the market's massive, said Figure AI CEO's Brett Addock. If we can just get humanoids to do the work that humans are not wanting to do because there's a shortfall in humans, we can sell millions of humanoids, billions, maybe. Now the reason that humans don't want to kind of do that trivial, mind-numbing bullshit kind of jobs is because of that. It's trivial, mindless, back-breaking, low-appreciative work. Used to pay good, used to be able to support your families on it while one person worked, the traditional family. We are long far removed from that. So, I don't necessarily see from a society standpoint how it is going to help with robots moving in to do jobs that humans don't want to do while the humans are still increasing in population. They're just getting lazier. I don't know. We'll see. Continuing on. At the moment, however, Adcock's firm doesn't have a prototype that's ready for market. Founded just over a year ago and having raised tens of millions of dollars, it recently revealed a 38-second video of a figure walking through the test facility in Sunnyvale, California. Tesla CEO Elon Musk is also trying to build a humanoid called Optimus through the electric car maker's robotics division. Live demonstration last year of the robot's awkwardly halting steps didn't impress experts in the robotics field. Seemingly farther along is Tesla's Austin, Texas-based neighborhood Apptronic, which unveiled its Apollo humanoid in an August video demonstration. All the attention and money poured into making ungainly humanoid machines might make the whole enterprise seem like a futile hobby for wealthy technologists. But for some pioneers of legged robots, it's all about what you learn along the way. Not only about their design and operation, but also about how people respond to them, and about the critical underlying technologies for mobility, dexterity, perception, and intelligence. Co-founder of Boston Dynamics, best known for the dog-like robot named Spot. He continues on, sometimes a path of development is not along a straight line. Boston Dynamics, a new subsidiary of car maker Hyundai, experimented with building a humanoid that could handle boxes. That led to development of a new robot that was not really a humanoid, but had several characteristics of humanoids, he said via an email message. But the changes resulted in a new robot that can handle boxes faster, could work longer hours, and could operate in tight spaces, such as a truck. So humanoid research led to a useful non-humanoid robot. Some startups aiming for human-like machines focused on improving the dexterity of robot fingers before trying to get their robots to walk. Walking is not the hardest problem to solve in humanoid robotics, co-founder and CEO of British Columbia, Gordy Rose said, of Canada-based startup Sanctuary AI. The hardest problem is the problem of understanding the world and being able to manipulate it with your own hands. Sanctuary's newest and first bipedal robot, Phoenix, can stock shelves, unload delivery vehicles, and operate a checkout. Early steps towards what Rose sees as a much longer-term goal for getting robots to perceive the physical world, to be able to reason about it in a way that resembles intelligence, like other humanoids. It's meant to look endearing because how it interacts with people is a big part of its function. We want to be able to provide labor to the world, not just for one thing, but for everybody who needs it, Rose said. The systems have to be able to think like people, so we can call the artificial general intelligence, if you like. But what I mean more specifically is the systems have to be able to understand speech, and they need to be able to convert the understanding to actions, which will satisfy job roles across the entire economy. Agility's Digit robot caught Amazon's attention because it can walk and also move around in a way that could complement the e-commerce giant's existing fleet of vehicle-like robots that move large carts around in its vast warehouses. The mobility aspect is more interesting than the actual form, said Ty Brady, Amazon's chief technologist of robots, after the company showed it off at a media event in Seattle. Right now, Digit is being tested to help with the repetitive tasks of picking up and moving empty totes, but just having it there is bound to resurrect some fears about robots taking people's jobs, which is exactly what it's doing, a narrative Amazon is trying to prevent from taking hold. Agility's Robotics co-founder and CEO Damon Shelton said the warehouse robot is just the first use case of a new generation of robots he hopes will be embraced rather than feared as they prepare to enter businesses and homes. So, in 10, 20 years, you're going to see these robots everywhere, Shelton said. Forevermore, human-centric robots like that are going to be part of human life. So that's pretty exciting. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the only reason that he thinks it's exciting is because he doesn't think that any robot can do his job, because he's in charge. Interesting. Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk's brain chip startup, Neuralink, said on Tuesday it has received approval from an independent review board to begin recruitment for the first human trial of its brain implant for paralysis patients. Those with paralysis due to cervical spinal cord injury or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis may qualify for the study, it said, but did not reveal how many participants would be enrolled in that trial, which will take about 6 years to complete. The study will use a robot to surgically place a brain-computer interface implant in a region of the brain that controls the intention to move, Neuralink said, adding that its initial goal is to enable people to control a computer cursor or a keyboard using their thoughts alone. The company, which had earlier hoped to receive approval to implant this device in 10 patients, was negotiating with a lower number of patients with the FDA. After the agency raised safety concerns, according to current and former employees, it is not known how many patients the FDA will ultimately approve. Musk has grand ambitions for Neuralink, saying it would facilitate speedy surgical insertions of its chip devices to treat conditions like obesity, autism, depression, and schizophrenia. In May, the company said that it had received clearance from the FDA for its first in-human clinical trial when it was already under federal scrutiny for its handling of animal testing. Even if the BCI device proves to be safer for human use, it would still potentially take more than a decade for the startup to secure commercial use for clearance of it, according to some experts. Well guys, coupled with robots taking our jobs and surgical implants in our head, I mean, again, I've said it before, we are now in the time of not if we can, it's if we should. But that's just me, let me know what you guys think. And with that, I will talk to you nerds later.